What's up, guys? Jim Squares here, bringing you some solutions around productivity. Does your Mercedes Sprinter have a red battery light message? Mine does, and I'll tell you how I fixed it. But first, make sure you like and subscribe down below, share this with others, and we'll get going right away. So first of all, there were 3 errors I was getting. So one was, I started kicking on the Mercedes and said something about auxiliary battery, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that means. And I quick started it because I thought it was going to die because we had 2 weeks of negative weather. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. And then when I said it, I was like, okay. And so I started it up, and I went inside and I let it run for like a half hour before we were going on an errand. We all got all piled into the car, all started driving. And I noticed there's 3 messages. One was like the AES, where it showed a tire, and it had direction, like arrows of both ways on it. Another one was, one was ASG, one was the tire message, and both of those are interrelated to each other. It just meant that it wouldn't brake for you. Like it has automated brake, so if you're driving up on something and you don't stop and it sees it, it will stop for you. It was snowy out, so that wasn't going to work anyway. But so that I wasn't worried about that one. But then it had a red solid battery light, and we looked it up. It said, "Don't drive." It could be battery's dead, your alternator's bad, or there's a band bad. And I was like, crap. So I quick drove home, and then I parked it, and I talked to the dealer, and they're like, hey, your stuff isn't that old. Your battery's probably frozen. So what I did is I took it out of the Mercedes, which is underneath the driver's seat. It sucks. So look up how to get it out. It is not fun. So, but it wasn't that bad. It's just a little different, and you do need a T30 screw bit. So make sure you get a T30 screw bit, because that's one of the key tools that you need, and that's to get the floor up. So it's like a hex screw. And then you also need a 10 millimeter like socket, and there's a real long wrench that you'll need. I will put a link in the show notes to what I got. And these things, like these tools, I did not have on hand, because what happens is when you take up the floor, it's submerged in the floor, and it's a tight compartment, and there's bolts. You got to unbolt, and so it doesn't slide around. So you need this really long, like socket set pole, and so I had to buy one of those. I think it was, and your wrench will depend on the size, or like a 3/8 or quarter. So I think mine was 3/8 if I remember right. But you'll need one of those really long poles. What I did is I just called up the local Ace Hardware, and my daughter was out running errands. I go, hey, go there and pick up all the sizes, because I was holding my baby and I didn't have time to look up what I had. I just pick it all up and then pick up a T30 hex screw and bring them home. So that's what she did. And with those two key things, I was able to get it all out. So the rest I pretty much had. But those are the 2 key things. Like, because I have a socket set, but I didn't have the extender. It's really just an extender. So, but those are the exact tools you will need to do it. And you can do that in the cold weather. And it wasn't too bad that day. I waited till it got a little warmer before I did it. I wasn't really too cold. But so I did charge it. It took 3 days to charge that sucker with a battery. So I think I'm going to buy a different battery charger. This one's supposed to be a fast charger, but it seemed a little slow to me. So that was me. That was my experience. And in the meantime, we managed to get by. But to continue, that's what I got for you. So hopefully it will save you some time. Now you know the exact tools you need. Some people say a T20. Mine was all T30, all around. So everything, because you need to get the front foot of the floor off, and then there's another panel on the battery you need to get off. All T30. So in the meantime, to continue learning, I remember checking out how synthetic saves, because you'll like it, and it'll save you time and money and everything. So it's a great thing to have. In the meantime, keep growing together, share this with others, and we'll be talking later.